Hey losers, welcome back to another episode here at Zero Loser Studio. So after 5 to 7 months, I finally beat Breath of the Wild, and wow, I have a lot to unpack, so welcome to another chit chat video. If you guys haven't guessed already, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. My first Zelda game was Link to the Past, and I was so young, I was like 6? I didn't really get attached to the game. It wasn't until I was about 11 to 12 years old when I played Ocarina of Time, and it's been history ever since. Around the time I got into Ocarina of Time was a very difficult time in my childhood, so I was very emotionally attached to the Legend of Zelda series. I would get so immersed in the Zelda games. I would just get lost in them for hours on end. All my weekends spent playing Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess. I use these Zelda games as an escape, a comfort, a safety net, and because of this, I was not welcoming to any kind of change to the Zelda series. My mindset was, why change something that was so perfect? Keep the linear story. And of course, Nintendo was a business and they want to change things. So they brought change to Zelda series when they released Skyward Sword in 2011. And like a lot of Zelda fans, I had a hard time adjusting to these changes. I just had a hard time with this game in general. And you guys haven't watched the video I made before this one, I talk about Skyward Sword. Go check it out if you haven't already. So after the release of Skyward Sword, I just was disappointed and I found solace in Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess. And yeah, I branched out. I played Link Between Worlds and Hyrule Warriors when they came out, but it just wasn't the same effect. I didn't get that same emotional attachment. I wanted something more. Around the 2010s, video game developers were really pushing for open world concepts in their games. It almost felt like it was mandatory for each game to have an open world or the reviews will tank. I freaking hated it. I hate open world concepts. And of course, as open world concepts were pushed more into these game releases, I became a bigger hater. Like, if there was a game that came out and it was open world, I did not play it at all. That's how much I hated it. And I would always rant about it. I mean, let's face it, we've all played a game where an open world concept has been introduced into it and it just doesn't work. And sometimes it's okay. Like, there are just some game stories that really don't need an open world concept. And like I said, I just hated how it was pushed in every game release. But I mean, I get it. From a business perspective, it was making money. We saw the success with GTA 5, The Witcher, and Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim has been released on every console known to mankind. That's how much people love that game. During this big push of open world concepts, again, I'm a creature of habit. I love sticking to my linear story games, and I thank the gods that Zelda has not been corrupted with the open world concept until 2017. In 2017, we finally get an announcement of a new Zelda game. I remember getting so hyped about it until I found out that it was 100% open world. I was so sick to my stomach. My favorite franchise has succumbed to the pressures of open world. Nintendo has officially sold out my comfort game. I know this sounds cringy and overdramatic, but just bear with me. When I saw the E3 trailer and all the other announcement trailers for Breath of the Wild, I hated it. I denied it. I want nothing to do with the Zelda game. This is not the Zelda series I grew up with and fell in love with. This is not the Zelda series that I wanted to see. And with that, I just went back to playing Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time. Again, all the Zelda games I'm used to. It wasn't until the following year of 2018 that my wonderful boyfriend Nate gifted me a Switch along with Breath of the Wild and Let's Go Eevee. I did not have the heart to tell him that I'm a huge Breath of the Wild hater. All he knew was I love Legend of Zelda. He was just trying to be loving and gave it to me, and I felt horrible because I didn't want anything to do with this game. I hated this game. So instead, me being me, I replayed Twilight Princess in 2019 because I just wanted to get a Zelda fix. And it wasn't until halfway through the game I was just so bored. I played this game so many times. I wanted something new. I didn't know what to do. And I don't know how it happened. I guess it was just fate. It was one of those days where I was bored in bed and I was just watching speedruns and I came across a Breath of the Wild speedrun. I was like, whatever, I'm bored, let's watch it. And then from there, it was like rolling down a hill. I went from one speedrun video to another, to another, to another, and then it finally caught my interest. I was like, this game looked really interesting, especially since Breath of the Wild does a lot of references to the previous games. It's not like some random standalone title, like it acknowledges the previous titles. All right, let's give it a try. I've literally clocked in almost 150 hours into this game. I defeated all 4 divine beasts. unlocked all of the memories, and I solved all of the 120 shrine puzzles. Not only that, I also bought these little amiibo cards to unlock costumes and other like cool items and weapons. Like, I don't know, I have never gone all out for a video game like this. Like, I have, but not to a level that I did with Breath of the Wild. I'm so mad at myself for being such a hater for so long, but I'm glad that I shut the hell up and I freaking played it. It was awesome. Honestly, in my humble opinion, this is the best Zelda game. And it is my favorite Zelda game. I mean, Ocarina of Time was on top, and now is number 2 because Breath of the Wild is number 1. And now, y'all gonna have to sit down and listen to me talk about Breath of the Wild. Let's talk about Hyrule for a second, okay? Hyrule is so vast and diverse, and it's so easy to get lost. The enemies are fun to fight. The combat system is hard, but not annoying, just hard. You have to find a good strategy to defeat these enemies. Obviously, the stronger you are, the stronger they get. So, your typical enemy difficulty progression system. Also, Nintendo gives you so many different ways to defeat these enemies. You don't have to go in with a sword and attacking them. You can throw bombs, you can hurl items at them, you can do so many different things. I love that. It really gave you that choice in how you play your game, and I appreciate that. Oh, and don't get me started on the puzzles. Those were so much fun to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some puzzles that were hella annoying and extra for no reason, but I mostly enjoyed it. The characters in this game were pretty fleshed out too. Even random NPCs that gave you side quests have some personality. And I really love the open world in this game. It really worked. Wow, me, an open world concept hater, applauding open world in a Zelda game. I could just be biased, honestly. Like, I just put it out there, okay? Like, I haven't tried other open world games for me to change my mind on open world concepts. I still believe that it doesn't work with every game. I will say that it has opened my heart to try different games that do have a very heavy open world concept. Now, of course, the game isn't perfect. I have my gripes with Breath of the Wild playing it. For example, I hate, and I know I'm not the only one, the weapon durability in this game. I get it, Nintendo was really going for that survival mode in Breath of the Wild. So it's only realistic that weapons don't last forever, right? I don't know, I feel they should have implemented like a workshop or something where you can fix these swords that break. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are weapons in the game that you can fix, but it's not all of them. And I've stumbled across favorite weapons and shields that just break on me, and I hate it. Like, I want to fix it. I don't want to go back to wherever I found it to get the same weapon because it broke on me. Like, I want to be able to fix it or something, you know? I feel like they should really fix that aspect of it. I hate that there was just 4 Divine Beast dungeons. I wanted more. I mean, the shrines, I know it probably sounds really ungrateful because there is 120 shrines, but the shrines are different from the dungeons. The dungeons really felt very old school Zelda, and like I said, I started getting like that comforting feeling when I played through these 4 Divine Beast dungeons, but I wanted more. The shrines can only do so more, but the dungeons were so much fun to do. And is it too much to ask for more dungeons? Probably. And last but not least, I want to talk about the final boss, Calamity Ganon. Now, I personally went a bit overboard with my gameplay. I unlocked a lot of shit. I upgraded a lot of my armor. I did the 4 Divine Beasts, and if you don't know, if you do the 4 Divine Beasts, they actually help you in the final boss battle. So yeah, when I confronted Ganon, and since like I just said, I did the 4 Divine Beasts, they took half his health. But I was still scared, you know? Like, this is the ultimate boss. This is the Demon King. I had to prepare myself. I felt like I overkilled it. I got the Master Sword. I got the Hylian Shield. Okay, I got hella fairies. I was ready to go to war. It only took me 15 minutes to beat him. Like, what the heck? It just felt so anticlimactic. I don't understand. How come the regular enemies in the game got stronger when you got stronger, but Calamity Ganon just felt flat? I thought because I was so strong, he was gonna be a stronger foe. I thought it was gonna take me a while to beat him, but I just sat on the couch like, I spent 7 months preparing myself to fight him, and it only took 15 minutes? What? And I mean, I get it, like, the experience isn't, you know, reserved for when you fight Ganon. The experience is like the journey to go fight Ganon, but like, come on, it could have been a little more epic. I mean, don't get me wrong, the final form was really cool. That was a lot of fun. And my horse did die while I was trying to ride and shoot my arrows at him. Whoop-de-doo. I felt like they should really change the boss system in that one because that didn't make no sense. He should have been way harder. I should have struggled. Like, I wanted to sweat and I was pretty disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. Final thoughts on the game. I loved it. Besides the gripes I had, like I stated, it's such an amazing game. Nintendo really did just they did it. Props to Nintendo, because when they changed it up, they changed it up. It wasn't like stupid changes like Skyward Sword. Like, they changed up the entire system and they ran with it and it did amazing, okay? It won Game of the Year. That's how good this game was. And if you've never played a Zelda game before and you don't know where to start, I highly recommend playing Breath of the Wild. Like, you don't have to play the previous games. If you want to pick up on the references, yeah, sure. Look up some videos, play the older titles, but other than that, it's not needed to play Breath of the Wild. It's very beginner friendly. Breath of the Wild's amazing. Love it. 10 out of 10. Does that mean I'm gonna play like The Witcher, all these other open concept games? I don't know. I'll let you know. Maybe. We shall see. Don't ask me to do nothing though. Anyways, losers, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for letting me chit chat with you. Let me know in the comments down below if you played Breath of the Wild, or if you also hate open world concepts. Let's chat. Let's have a conversation. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye, losers.